What's going on YouTube? So the Toyota Highlander is one of the very most popular three-row crossovers out there. And earlier this year, we showed you guys the brand new XSE trim level. However, today we wanted to take a look at this fully loaded Platinum model. This thing offers Lexus levels of luxury. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check it out and see how it stacks up against things like the Palisade and Telluride. So starting out here with the exterior design, unlike that XSE that we looked at earlier in the year, the Platinum definitely goes for a more subdued and classy appearance that's more in line with what a traditional Highlander buyer is looking for. So you still have that pretty nice and subtle chrome grille up here in the front with the metallic black in the middle. The Platinum exclusively adds this extra accent down here at the bottom as well. And then coming over here to your headlights, these are going to be full LED. They are the projector style LED headlights. You have an LED daytime running light, however your turn signal is incandescent. And then down below that we have an LED fog light as well. And taking a look at the wheels here, the Platinum does come with an exclusive design. They are going to be 20 inches and you have this multi-spoke with a special super chrome finish, as Toyota calls it, as opposed to some of the other models which have contrast alloys. And then moving on up here to your mirrors, they are of course going to be body colored, power adjusting, and you have blind spot monitoring. With the Platinum, as well as the Limited, you have the Highlander projection puddle lamp. However, none of the models are going to have auto dimming or power folding.
Alright, so you probably guessed by now the theme of the Platinum is to make this Highlander look as luxurious as possible, and that's going to of course continue here at the rear. But there's not a lot of differences from any other Highlander model. So up here at the top, you're going to have these same taillights as any other Highlander. So it's an LED accented brake light. The brake light itself is LED, however the turn signal and reverse light are both incandescent. And then dropping down, this is where you're going to see the Platinum exclusive bit, and that's at this point, this part is painted silver. Some of the other models will give body color, but most of them will be a black plastic, so this really helps out with the design. And then you're going to have an exhaust pipe here on the right side, however it's not going to be exposed. Now there is going to be a change for the whole 2021 Highlander lineup. That's that Toyota Safety Sense 2.5 is now standard on all of them. That's going to include everything you want and more, which is forward emergency braking with low light pedestrian detection, radar cruise control with the full speed, as well as lane keeping assist and auto high beam headlamps. Well guys, that's going to wrap up the exterior design of this Highlander Platinum. So now let's go ahead and hop on the inside where I know they've put a lot of luxury, and be sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already.
So every single version of the Highlander will come with Toyota Smart Entry System. As you can see, you've got their typical key fob, but with the Highlander branding on it. And then to get inside the vehicle itself, just grab behind the handle since there is a sensor. Now taking a look inside of this cabin, this is the real reason you choose the Platinum trim, because you do have a lot of special touches on board. So as you work your way up through the trim levels, you go from cloth to Softex faux leather. However, when you get to the Limited or the Platinum, that's where you get the real leather. Now for the Platinum exclusively, that's going to add in this really lovely diamond stitch design, which I really like. Also, this color is exclusive to the Platinum, so this is called Glazed Caramel. Really is a nice looking color. It looks very premium, but if you don't like this, it's not your taste, you can still get black or gray. Now turning over here to your door trim, you'll see that same glazed caramel leather cover the armrest as well as all this area. We do have a very realistic faux wood trim on board, and the top part is padded. Here's your two-person memory seating, and we also have 4 automatic windows. Checking out the seats, these are 10-way power adjusting with 2-way lumbar support. And then, like I already mentioned, this is full leather with the special design. Now the cabin of this Highlander Platinum definitely strikes you as a premium place as soon as you get in, and I think especially so when it's finished in this color. Now on the upper dash, the only part that's going to be hard is right above the gauges. All the rest of this is going to be finished in a soft touch plastic with a color contrast stitching detail. As we move down, we have a piece of silver trim that runs through here, and then all of these areas on this lower panel are going to be finished in a leatherette with the matching leather color. And then down below, we have some more leatherette where your knee would rest against. And in typical Toyota fashion, everything is going to fit together perfectly. Now start up the Highlander, put your foot on the brake, and press the button. So with the Highlander, there are 2 different gauges that you can get. This, of course, is the upgraded version with the 7-inch display in the middle. And you can cycle through an abundance of information on board, including things like your safety systems, which is what you see here. Now, in addition to that, with the Platinum model, Toyota is going to throw in a very large head-up display. It's a little blurry, but this is actually a very vivid and, like I said, really large head-up display, so it's very impressive to see that. And coming back to the steering wheel, we do have electric power assisted steering and a nice leather wrapped steering wheel. The wheel itself is going to be manual tilt and telescoping across all the models, and of course with this Platinum it is heated, but I will point out it's only heated on the sides. And then the Platinum also throws in rain sense wipers. But let's go ahead and jump into interior storage, because that's got to be one of the very most important parts of a 3-row crossover. So we'll slide open that. You'll notice right on top here we have a large Qi wireless phone charging pad. And you can bend that out of the way, and that's where you'll start to see the main part of your storage. So we have another sliding tray. This is also removable, if I can get that out there. And then once you get all that out of the way, you'll see just how truly large this console is. It is gigantic. And for reference, we'll throw in this big stack of coupons, and as you can see, they are just absolutely engulfed. Now up in front of that, we've got our 2 cup holders. We have another large area up here in the front with a rubber lining, 2 USB ports or 3 USB ports, and a 12-volt outlet. And then you have the signature Toyota Highlander shelf. So you can stick just about anything up here in this part, as well as the one in front of the passenger side. So I'm very impressed by the amount of storage on board. And despite all that storage, Toyota has been able to keep a traditional style shifter. So you're just going to pull back for drive. You can bump over here to the left if you want to do some manual shifting, but there are not going to be any paddle shifters. And then heading into reverse, you'll see a really nice 360-degree camera system here on the Platinum trim. As you can see, it does take up the entire large display, which I'm happy to see, and you can still do the 360-degree spin by pressing the camera button on the dash. Additionally, in this area, you will find your drive mode controls, 4-wheel drive controls, and a few other buttons over here, as well as your electronic parking brake, which does automatically deploy when the vehicle goes into park. Okay, so going on up the dashboard, we come to our climate controls. Now, every Highlander will have a 3-zone automatic climate control setup. However, with the Platinum model, since we have the larger display, the buttons themselves are going to be a little bit different. But the operation is going to be pretty much the same overall. You've got buttons to control the temperature and your fan speeds, although a few things like your zones will be located in the display exclusively. You'll also notice we have 3-stage heated seats as well as 3-stage ventilated seats. And then right next to that we have our volume knob. So of course, as the fully loaded Platinum model, we do have the 11-speaker JBL premium sound system. So let's go ahead and give that a sample. Yeah, so overall sound quality is definitely excellent. I love the amount of bass that these JBL speakers generate. Okay, so now that brings us to one of our more eye-catching elements of the cabin. That's our very Lexus-like 12.3-inch display, standard here on the Platinum model. Now, obviously, this is larger than what you get in the other versions of the Highlander, which comes standard with an 8-inch display. And that does give you some additional abilities, like the split screen that you can see up right now. So you can cycle through various kinds of information in this secondary display. You can also press this button right here and switch the sides from the passenger side to the driver's side. All models are going to have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay abilities. And then here with the Platinum model, we of course have the integrated dynamic navigation system, which is extremely responsive and has very nice looking graphics. And then moving above that, we have two Platinum exclusive items. So this looks like a regular auto dimming mirror. However, you flip that switch and you have a rear camera mirror. And then up at the very top, we also have the gigantic panoramic sunroof.
Now, of course, the Highlander is a family-oriented vehicle, so sitting back here in the rear seat, this is obviously a hugely important aspect of it. And this is a really luxurious and spacious place to spend time. Now, as far as the legroom figures, you're looking at 41 inches of rear legroom, 39 inches of rear headroom, and behind rear seat position, I have a solid, I bet, probably a foot of space, and my feet can easily slide up underneath the seat. That does place it as more than the Honda Pilot, but it's slightly less than the Kia Telluride. Now, as far as the features, there's also going to be a lot of it. Of course, this is a fully loaded Platinum model. So here in the center, we're going to have our own climate controls. We also have 3-stage heated rear seats, exclusive to the Platinum. And then dropping down, we have 2 charging USB ports, as well as a household style outlet. You're probably also noticing that this model has the captain's chairs. That's going to be actually the only seating configuration offered on the Platinum, so that's something worth considering if you don't like captain's chairs. Then off on the door trim, we have a rear window sunshade, and the vents are out here on the top. Now, of course, that family comfort must also continue to the third row, so let's go ahead and get back here. So in order to do it, just locate this little lever right here, push it once, and that will fold it and allow the seat to slide out of the way, so that's actually very simple. Now, getting back here, this is a pretty decent third row. This is not the best in the entire segment. It's only going to have 27 inches of rear legroom, which is one of the smaller offerings. That does place it less than the Pilot, as well as the Telluride. And as you can see, I really don't have a lot of thigh support. So this is an okay third row, but it's not the best. And as far as the features, we do have cup holders on the side and vents up top. Now, walking up to the tailgate, you are going to have a hands-free power one on both the Limited and Platinum model, so just wave your foot under the bumper to open it up. And once it opens, you're going to find a lot of space back here. So you're going to have 16 cubic feet behind the third row seats. That expands to 48 cubic feet with them folded, and as a maximum, you have 84 cubic feet. That does make it larger than the Honda Pilot. However, it is a little bit less than the Kia Telluride and Hyundai Palisade, but still a lot of space back here. Now, as far as how they finished it, we do have a nice carpeting along the floor. If we lift it up, there's a little bit of storage up under there. Then as far as folding the third row, you just lift this little lever and push forward, and it does fold right down. However, I do want to point out there is not going to be a power folding third row, unlike the Hyundai Palisade. Now here at your passenger seat, as you can tell, it is 4-way power adjusting on the Platinum. And then opening up the glove box. This is a decently sized glove box. It's not really massive, but it's okay in size. And as far as how the coupons fit in, they fit in just fine. So you'll have enough for all 3 rows. Then up in front, you have this little storage compartment. You could maybe put individual coupons. And then up top, we have a sun visor with a mirror and light, and you can also detach and extend.
Very Very nice, very nice. That's already 60 miles per hour in this 2021 Highlander. So with the Highlander, one of the signature elements of the Highlander is having this 3.5 liter V6 engine, 295 horsepower, 263 pound-feet of torque. Those are good power numbers, but the big thing is just how silky smooth this is.
Yeah.
They do a great job with this engine, shared with a number of Lexus products, and you get that same refinement here in the Highlander.
Yeah, honestly, guys, this is probably one of the most refined engines that you can get in any vehicle, period. It just strikes you as soon as you get in. You can tell it's like luxury focused, and it just, oh my gosh, beautiful, beautiful V6 engine.
Now, of course, there is still that hybrid powertrain available. We have a separate review for that, but like I said, really the big thing between choosing between those two is going to be that efficiency trade-off versus the refinement of this V6.
Yeah.
So the other part of the powertrain to talk about is the transmission. We do have an 8-speed automatic transmission on board. It's a really good transmission. Just like the engine, it's very smooth, shifts seamlessly. This it doesn't seem really confused or anything like that. So I like this transmission overall. We also on board with this model we have the torque vectoring all-wheel drive system. So that's special to the top trim levels of the Highlander, and that gives you more control as far as splitting the torque between the front and the rear wheels.
Yeah. And while we're here at highway speed, I will get a sound level reading for you guys to hear. Going 55 miles an hour, we are testing at 55 decibels. So that's a really, really good reading. We've been in a number of the competition, and this is one of the quietest ones that you can get. We probably sound like a broken record at this point, but everything's really comfort focused and just luxurious oriented, especially here in the Platinum model, and that noise level corresponds with that, as well as the ride quality. So, just talking about that real fast, we're about to hit a bump in the road, and bumps no more. It really just soaks it up really well. This is like a Lexus RX, but except in the Toyota lineup.
Alright, so now I want to go ahead and talk about today's Slam Dunk and Airball. So for the Slam Dunk, I think you probably know what we're going to say. It is refinement, 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 and luxury.
Yeah.
This really, basically, this is kind of like a Toyota version of Lexus RXL. It's a little bit more spacious than that, actually, so I could totally see plenty of reasons that you could choose this over that.
Yeah, and as far as the Airball is concerned, we're just going to say, I guess this is kind of subjective, but we think that the exterior could be a little bit more expressive. The main stuff that people are going to be shopping this with, like a Kia Telluride, Hyundai Palisade, they're going to have a little bit more expressive designs that stand out a little bit more, but, if maybe that's not your forte.
Right, and there's always the XSE, but if you choose the XSE trim level of this, you won't have this type of luxury experience.
Correct. Alrighty, now let's go ahead and talk about the fuel economy for the Highlander. So for the front wheel drive, on most trim levels, is going to be at 21, 29, 24. All-wheel drive is going to be 23 combined with this V6, of course. That's one of the best fuel economy figures in the segment for the standard V6 option. And of course, like we were mentioning earlier, there is the hybrid that's available with 36 mpg. So if you're really fuel economy focused, that may be the way to go for you. And you might be curious as to how much all of this is going to ring you for the top-end Platinum all-wheel drive Highlander. It's going to start at $48,915 for 2021, and this particular model has the optional paint and the $11.75 destination charge, bringing this one's total to $50,515.
Of course, $50,000 is definitely a lot of money, but I really think you're getting a lot of bang for the buck with this Highlander. This redesigned model really takes luxury and refinement to a whole new level, and you know, if you think about it in that respect, this might just be a really good deal compared to a Lexus.
Well guys, that's going to wrap up this in-depth review of the 2021 Toyota Highlander Platinum. We really appreciate you watching, and if you made it this far in the video, don't lie to me, I know you enjoyed, so don't be a bum, hit that subscribe button down below. It's completely free to you, and it really helps us out, and it's just going to give you notifications on all of our videos. But we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.